Have you got a two-handed backhand?
I do.
Do you pivot your back leg?
Yes.
Good, because if you don't, you've got major problems. Let us tell you why. Okay, double-handed backhand players, we need to make sure that you're using your back foot and you are pivoting around it to make sure you are maximizing your backhand performance. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more gold, all based around the rotation of your non-dominant hip. And that's the point. When you are playing a double-handed backhand, your left side is meant to be in charge. It is meant to be driving the shot along, and it is essentially the left foot that starts the motion. We load the ground and that fires us into the shot, and it is really, really important. If you find yourself playing and you feel like your arms are getting tired, it's all just arms, that's a problem. If you feel like you're spinning and you're out of control, that's a problem. And coming up, Josh is going to give you just a little bit of a taster of what to expect as he shows you exactly how to get this right and the pitfalls to avoid. Here he is.
When generating force on the backhand side, we use our legs. We push through the floor, which chain goes through our kinetic system, through our body, generating force through into the racket. Now, a very common mistake that we see at tennis clubs is the ball going too long and often on the two-handed backhand too wide. And this is normally due from spinning out of control and from over-rotating. And so there is two things you need to make sure you're doing to ensure your body stays sideways, stays straight, and doesn't over-rotate and doesn't spin out through the shot. So we want to twist and not spin. And one of the ways that we do this is by dragging our back foot and keeping our head over the ball. If we keep our head still on the contact over the top and we drag our left foot as a right-hander along the floor, we keep our left hip behind our body, and that prevents us spinning out and over-rotating. So one of the key things, especially if you try and generate extra pace by really driving up through the floor, is we use our back foot like an anchor, and we leave our head over the ball to keep us nice and settled. This is one of the disadvantages of a two-handed backhand versus the one-hander. The one-hander has their left hand going back the other way to do this, to anchor them and to stop them over-rotating. We don't have that. We have both hands going through, so we have to use our back foot to drag and to hold us back and stop us spinning out and losing control. One of the biggest problems that two-handed backhand players face is over-rotating, and I've given two ways in order to help restrict this.
Yeah, it is often a beginner problem that they don't rotate enough, and like an intermediate problem that rotate too much. And I really liked what you said. It's a twist, not a spin, and it's also not a step. Get a lot of players try to sort of cheat it by getting their body weight through, and you see this sort of like weird step halfway through.
Yeah, you finish with like left foot almost in front.
Yeah, at the end, essentially you just want your hips to be facing down the court, not still facing the side fence, or if they've over-rotated, facing completely the wrong direction.
Yeah, I think it's also an important one on the semi-open stance, when you're loading really on that back foot and kind of probably defending and driving and ripping up a ball back cross court. You don't let that back hip spin out. That's when you're going to lose control on that you're driving force but in a controlled way, and the hip and the left foot drag sort of helps maintain that.
Yeah, if you find dragging uncomfortable, you can still just plant your foot and twist, but that's going to require more mobility. So if you just aren't capable of twisting, then the drag works. If you still feel like you're losing a little bit of control, stable is better, smaller is better. The key thing is to stop the wild looseness.
Yeah, I think the drag really works when you're stepping down the court. Like you're really moving forwards as well as, and then you try and play it, and it's easy to then kind of spin out because you have so much energy going through.
Yeah, I'm sure you've done it already, but if you haven't, please hit the subscribe button, and that way you will never miss a thing from PH Tennis.